Cottonwood Creek, which has a fence on both sides, and there are cottonwoods that are growing in there, but we don't have any targets in that area.
Any further questions for Mr. Tuchek? Mr. Fields.
So I'm going to just sort of real briefly try to recreate what I thought Councilmember Anderson was asking about risk assessment. What I think I heard you say is you have a risk, you can't calculate it given the unpredictability of cottonwoods, but a lot of trees fall and hit cars and hurt people, and a lot of things happen all the time in our world that we don't expect to happen, but they do. So I guess I'm interested in, how do you quantify the risk reward of the 30 trees? It almost seems anecdotal that you identified a risk and now you need to cut 30 trees in public areas, and that there's no other way to calculate it. And that's not a setup question. I actually believe that's what you're saying, and if that is what you're saying, I just wanted to verify that you can't calculate the risk.
I'm going to cut you off, Mr. Fields,
sure.
And it's because there's a lawsuit against the city about these trees falling, and we do not want to create further liability with this line of questioning. I think any person being hurt I think the answer was a target-rich area creates liability, and the more targets there are in that area, the higher liability. And going further down this line, our attorney has advised us not to go that route of questioning. If a police officer declared someone dangerous, would we hold a committee meeting about it? No, I think we would act on the professional opinion of our staff, and in this case, our staff is telling us there's a high risk of danger, and of course, no one can be certain about anything. So I'm going to thank you, Mr. Tuchek, for your report, and we're going to move on with the consent agenda at this point.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion for the consent agenda? Moved by Ms. Burney, second by Mr. Carson. Is there any items to be pulled?